My campfire, why not? My name is of no great importance, but the stories I have to tell you are. Witness 4 lost souls journeying together through a grim world of perilous adventure. Be warned, though, these stories are not for the faint-hearted. And once you have heard them, you cannot unheard them. Bear witness to the Vagabond Chronicles. Holy shit. Off you go, lass. To Vernix farm.
The Vernix farm you mentioned just to the north, yes?
Yes. What are you, deaf? That one.
But aren't you coming?
Why? Bloody humans? Bloody elves? To yourself.
Alone? I mean, alone. Of course. Fucking dwarves.
What?
I said muggy shores of the river I fell into that one time.
Yes.
Fucking stunties.
Oh.
Weathers looks a bit misty, you know, from the mountains and things.
Bloody elves.
Hey, heard that I did.
Something happening here. What it ain't exactly clear. There's a dwarf with a crossbow over there, telling me I got to beware. I think it's time we stop. Dwarfies, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Yeah, yeah. Battle lines being drawn, and anyone should fight if everybody's strong. Right as ferrets are squeaking their minds, and getting so much resistance from Tom's behind. Time to stop, vagabonds, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Yeah. What a field day for the heat. 1,000 skeletons and in the street. Clanging saws, mashing Hector's wine. Most are screaming, hooray for our side. It's time we stop, vagabonds, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Yow, yow, yow. Paranoia strikes deep into your life, it will creep. It starts when you're always afraid. step out of line, the man come here and take you away. We better stop, vagabonds, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop, vagabonds, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop, fam, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop, vagabonds, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Yeah. Holy shit! Hello, my friends! Welcome to whatever the fuck this is. That's my microphone.
Hi.
Whatever the fuck is it? That's the question.
The main thing is, Tom, what isn't this? This has everything. This has spills, this has laughs, this has danger, this has a little bit of romance. This has some
I
cool
came here
shit.
to roll some dice and take some names. That's what I'm
It's
here.
not the bake-off. We're not doing the bake-off this week.
Bake-off episode. All right. Hi, folks. Hi, Vagabonds. What's up, my Vagabonds? How you all doing?
Hello.
Vagabond
Yeah.
Bake Off is I think that's another concept to file away.
What's that? A Bake-Off episode of Warhammer Vagabonds?
Vagabond Bake Off, yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Okay. All right. Not entirely sure how that's going to work. All right. Cool. Let's put a pin in that, Tom, shall we? And say hello to the community. Hi, folks. Hi, everybody. How you all doing?
Hi, community. Hello.
I see you guys. Hello.
Let's see. The Great Vagabond
Good
Bake-Off.
night.
There you go. It's unleashed. Hello to the mods. Hi to Shannon. Hey, Shannon. And hi to, I think Yogo's here as well, I believe. So hi to them as well. Nice to be back. We've got a full house tonight. Well, full house. Well, there's two still missing perpetually, but we've got a full house of the ones that's supposed to be.
Actually, man.
So yeah, full Vagabond house. What does that make us? Like a two? Wait, how does that work? A full house of vagabonds. A wizard? No, an idiot. A mild racist. A socially awkward elf, and a Swiss Army gnome. There you go. Full house. Is Ziggy racist? I don't know. Is he? Not entirely sure. Really.
No, I don't think he is.
He's just misunderstood.
He's
He
more
just
nationalist.
misunderstands. He's nationalist, right? Okay, that's so much better.
No,
Great.
he's-
Cool.
Yeah. He's pro-empire.
Ziggy's just
Yeah.
problematic. He's complicated, let's say. All right. So, hi folks, we're back again. We're gonna do a quick little mini community news, if that's all right with everybody. It's gonna be so small you're barely gonna hear it. So, community news with your pal Thomas, Felicity, Mustachio, Vladimir DeVille. It's tiny.
Thanks, Grandpa.
You're welcome.
Thanks. That was great. I loved it.
Hey, you gotta keep it fresh, man. Keep it fresh.
So, Neil, do you quickly, before I get into my bits and pieces, do you want to give the latest update on the
I
Discord?
think that was the community news. It was like basically it.
All right. Well, normally you want to do it. You're like, I want to do the Discord bit.
I think I was just egging you on.
I'm handing it back to you for the Discord bit.
All right. So, thank you, Tom DeVille. Yeah. So the Discord, the new Discord, is going to be up. We think towards the end of the week. Now we had to do some tinkering around, and there's a few things we didn't quite understand that we had to make work. So we're thinking basically Friday the 7th of May is going to be the new server.
next Friday.
Next Friday. So Friday is going to be the next. That's when we're going to go live with the Discord. We're going to be putting up the Vagabond comics that we had up still there. We'll be putting up access for anybody that's subbing for the songs as well. I can't remember how the tier system works with that, but we'll let you know.
I do. Don't worry about it.
All right, we're all over it. We have people all over it. People all over it. So we're going to be doing.
I apologize. We've just been so busy with
It's
just
been
real
full
life.
on, man. Yeah,
So,
all of us have been so full on. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. So we're going to be doing that
Yay!
Friday. Yeah, man, it's good. And thank you very much to Blue for doing so much of the legwork on that as well. Huge thank you to you. So now that we're
I
here,
have some.
oh
I have
yes,
some more. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Firstly, just to let everyone know, because we announced stickers ages ago, and I am very apologetic. We've all been really, really busy with day-to-day stuff, but I'm finally ordering them next week. So Sad Neil stickers are on the way for anyone who is a tier 2 subscriber and above.
Awesome.
That's number 1. Number 2, it's kind of a two-parter. Firstly, we did this thing for Ratigan's new spell and what we're going to call it.
Oh shit! Yeah.
And the winner is Poppy H, who suggested disrobing robe strobe, or just
Really?
robe strobe. Because a bunch of people suggested robe strobe.
I liked Flash and Dash. I did like Flash and Dash.
I did like Flash and Dash.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, maybe we'll flip around between them. I mean, he's a flexible guy, is Ratty. So
I was going to go with a competent wizard, but yeah, he's flexible.
Well, I like robe strobe. It kind of because I kind of like the idea that it is stroby as well. But
Okay.
Flash and so yeah, but disrobing robe strobe, and because a bunch of people, I just thought it was a good consensus. There was a bunch of people suggested it. So
All right, cool.
robe strobe is good. And finally, I also wanted to say. Poppy H, who's repeated ghosts, hang on, what is Vanilla Fruit 2 on Twitter, has offered, if anyone is interested in the amazing, in actually making one of the amazing Funkos that Hidden designed a few weeks ago, Poppy H, who's at Vanilla Fruit 2 on Twitter, has offered, she's got a 3D printer and she can make custom Funkos. And so if anyone wants one, I guess get in contact with her and maybe you can order one from her. That sounds cool. I mean, I've not really had a chance to talk with them yet, but yeah, that's Poppy H, who's at Vanilla Fruit 2. So yeah, look, if you have a look for them on Twitter,
Okay.
you'll find them.
Groovy, all right. Are they like voodoo dolls, like Funkos?
Funkos.
No, they're also like the little collectible guys with the big heads.
So putting a
and the
pin
beady eyes.
in Ratigan's head wouldn't affect Tom in any way. I'm just asking because it's the
I mean,
question we all want to ask,
could
right?
get one and you could get one and stick nails in it.
I do have some of your hair from that time you slept over.
All right, this is. Oh boy! Suddenly,
Taking a dark turn.
Get scary, yeah.
I don't have any of your hair. I have Toby.
Please, maybe don't use the Funkos as voodoo dolls.
Tom, they're
I not
pops.
thought of that before we announced it. I
Well.
thought it was
You're welcome. Should we move on?
let's do that
Okay, let's do
before
it. All right,
we get
folks.
voodoo doll ideas.
Okay, folks. So here we are back, and thank you very much for all the resubs. By the way, it's a huge amount of resubs going on. So thank you very much indeed to everybody. We are back. Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, first edition, old school rules with some augmented rules just for shits and giggles. Let's go round with our initiative order. Let's dash into the board right now and take you to a world of fantastic adventure, which for some reason doesn't seem to be working. I've got the wrong thing. Okay, there you go. Bam. So we're going to take you to the board and we're going to introduce our characters, and with the magic, although this is going to be maybe turned to a podcast later, so this is going to be a whole edited part out, I guess. Let's use the magic of the camera to take you one by one by our heroes and our vagabonds. So starting in initiative order, which is the reflexes and wits, obviously, we're going to go with our elf. Our elf, definitely not on the shelf. Dell, played by Blue. Sorry,
No,
last time.
put baby on the shelf.
Yeah, Tom basically took me up and brought me up last time and said that doesn't work, and I realised he was right. So I've been trying to get some rhyming stuff going on for your characters. So elf definitely on the shelf. Dell. All right, what's up, Blue?
Yes.
Tell us
Yeah.
about Dell.
My name is Blue. I play Delmira, also known as Del. I am slightly new to the party, and I am a wood elf rogue. Got my bow there, and I'm very socially awkward.
Welcome to the Vagabonds.
And also my character is too, so there you go. But yeah.
Awesome.
Slayer of
Slayer of
Skeleton.
undead shit.
Yes.
Slayer of Skeleton
And
Lord.
clowns.
Faller off buildingers. Parkour, not yeah,
Heard of her name. Yeah,
You're
yeah,
like
yeah.
danger,
Not
you're like
parkour.
danger parkour expert, I guess is the thing. Next up, we have actually an NPC now at the moment because Dr. Steve's on sabbatical from us. By the way, he works really hard. He's taking a sabbatical from us, not them. This is Ziggy Hauptmann. He's actually corporal, but he's starting to call himself Captain. You notice, Captain
Empire.
Captain Empire. You've heard him muttering in his sleep these words. You don't know what they mean. Ziggy Hauptmann, who is a 17-year-old boy who is really. I just kind of think I don't know, man. He's complicated, right? So he's not the most socially deft. He's definitely confident, possibly a bit too much. However, he's incredibly competent with the sword. He has a immaculate shield, which he's scrolling on daily, and he also has this awesome spider sword, which was created for us, which is amazing, which lets him talk to spiders. Although he's never used it once, because I think he just thinks spiders are icky. Moving on, we have our hedge wizard. I don't have a rhyme for you, dude. I'm working on that still. Give me some time. Played by Tom DeVille. What's up?
The hedge wizard on the edge. I mean, rhyming wizard is just
Wizards sit on gizzards. There you go.
Lizards?
Lizards. Wizards sit on lizards. Everybody knows that. Cats sit on mats. Wizards sit on lizards. All right.
the hedge wizard on the edge lizard. It's Ratigan.
Okay. Hey, Ratigan.
I mean, it rhymed, but it doesn't make any sense
At all.
You know, but that kind of works for the character.
Take it away. I'm going to get a drink. Take it away.
This is Neil's. I gotta say, this is Neil's standard approach. He passes it to me, and it just very abruptly goes, "Right, I'm going. Bye."
Just get a drink. Right.
Need more food. What can I choke on this week?
So yeah, Ratty, you know the drill. He's a scraggly man. He's got a couple of ferrets. They do magical stuff for him. He's got the bathrobe from an inn as his wizard robe. It now has a flash lining.
That's pretty cool.
Kazam.
Actually.
He sort of swear sneezes his spells because he kind of just
wizard, isn't he?
Yeah, he's an intuitive wizard. He's like a he's been blessed or cursed with the magical ability. He's not been trained into it in any particular way. And that's him, really. That's,
all right.
I feel that's the general gist.
All right.
Him.
Lastly, but never leastly, we have our Swiss Army gnome Bondo of No Fixed Abode. Bondo, what's up?
He can remember anyway.
No, you can remember.
Hi, I'm Jim, pronouns he, him, and I play the wonderful Bondo, who is a gnome with aspirations towards being an engineer and some mysterious cranial trauma that means he can't remember a lot of his own past.
Yes. And that's
However,
it
does like this thing called MacIver, and more on that subject presently.
Yeah, indeed. We've already got issue 1 of MacGyver, which is very much sought after.
Yes.
All right, so let's take you back into the action. Because there's a bam! That was a little camera move there. So last we saw the Vagabonds. Dell, you have this fierce fight at mine. Skeletons are a real thing now. Dell was lumbered because she's badly injured, although we did make canon that you have a Slan onesie, which is now canon. You can put that in your equipment box. You're most welcome. You went off with the dwarves to go to Vernix farm, and you were told, as the song kind of hinted at, that basically something rotten's going on, and you're not entirely sure what's going on. The dwarves have left you to go and deal with Vernix farm, or at least warn them. And you've entered Vernix farm, and you saw this chained up war dog, this enormous war dog, that seems to want to become friends, but then you want to touch anything fluffy, so that maybe like you not quite misreading the situation. You're invited into the Vernix farm, and currently you're having tea and some kind of weird cake, and a thing called a sandwich, which you thought would be really crunchy and gritty, possibly to clean your teeth, but it turns out it's just bread and some meat, which you're not entirely thrilled about. The other vagabonds, however, were having way less fun. You were at the Dietrich's farm, You came across the bodies of the Dietrichs, or at least the farmhands and the family, who had all been torn apart, quite sadly. And these monstrous carrion crows, these kind of zombie carrion crows, attacked you. They wounded Bondo badly. And then you saw in the distance a cloud of these fucking things. And bearing in mind there was only about 6 of them, and they almost took your numbers down. And you see a cloud of these traveling very slowly south, this huge kind of like amorphous cloud of carrion crows heading towards, I guess, Frugelhof and probably on the way Vernix farm. And that's where we're going to pick up the action, folks. So Ziggy ignored Bondo his howls of pain, pointed this out in his usual slightly sardonic manner. I guess, yeah, it's up to you two. What are you going to do? We're going to do this narratively because obviously we want to move the thing along a little bit. But Tom and Jim, what's up?
So we've seen these crows. We've got a booty there. Is this? I mean, this is the thing. Like, we're screwed, aren't we? We like Bondo took a beating.
Yeah. Dale's taking a beating as well.
Yeah.
And
we are going to have to.
Yeah, that's right. So it's only you and Ziggy that's kind of at full strength at the moment.
Can you remind me, did I take the magical charge from...
You
from,
did. Yeah, you did, yeah.
So my ferret is currently drained.
The ferret
sounds
is
like a really awful...
You've drained the ferret, sir.
Drained the ferret.
Yeah,
Really? At this time, really? Is that what danger does to you? So you've drained the ferret. Yeah. I guess it takes every, different worlds and everything. So yes, you have drained the ferret, which is now euphemism and reality. And your ferret is now currently snoozing it off in your backpack, in his little kind of like survival bag that you've made out of a sock. So that's Noodle actually. It's a she. Noodle's completely drained and is currently snoozing. So you only have like a magic point left, I believe. But you've still got. Didn't we talk about Mr. Spidge? Because he's got a thing as well. And I'm pretty sure you actually did charge him. Was that and that was the old version of this game, perhaps? Do you know what Mr. Spidge does? He gives you you don't know what he does, do you?
Oh, has he got
Gives materials, doesn't he?
He eats materials.
He ate didn't
scroll.
he eat some kind of scroll?
Yeah, he ate a healing scroll.
Oh,
that was way long ago.
Thanks for the prompt.
That's I really should have made you roleplay Gary the Brain for that little tidbit, but I'm going to let it pass because we just started, so that's fine. But yeah, you remember somehow. It is ratty. You remember somehow that actually he ate half a healing scroll.
You really should have done that as Gary. I'm quite.
Yeah, I should have done that as Gary.
All right, lads. All right.
Well, you know what?
Just
Fuck
a
it.
reminder.
Hello, Ratty. Ratty.
Hello, Gary. Hello. Yeah. How are you there, Gary?
This might be old news. But you know that ferret of yours, that weird little furry thing. I mean, I didn't know if there were. At first, I thought there might be food, like a snack. But then I realised you were quite attached to them. Apparently, he eats stuff and then he sort of shits it out, like healing scrolls
Gary?
and things.
That's just how any animal operates.
Oh yeah, what is it? Respiratory procreation and movement and shitting.
Yeah, you're basically listing things that living creatures do.
Right. Okay. Forget about it. It was probably a bad idea.
No. Hang on. I've just remembered. That ferret, he ate something special, didn't he? What was it that he ate, Gary? Come on, try and remember for me.
I think it was the other ferret's poop, wasn't it? They do that, don't they? Ferrets like dogs. They eat poop.
That's rabbits.
Rabbits. Okay. Forget that. Sorry, I know what I was talking about. What?
You've remembered the wrong thing, Gary. What?
No, he ate the thing, the reedy thingy, the thing you're not very good at, are you? I mean, you try hard, don't you?
I can't read, but that. Yeah.
You try really hard, don't you? You do. I mean, I'm proud of you for trying hard. You don't do well, but I'm proud of you for trying really hard.
Thanks, Gary.
Note to self: this is not
very kind of you. And I've just remembered, actually, with the power of that, with the power of Gary, that yeah. Okay, so Noodle, who is I believe is the one who...
Noodle is the battery. Mr. Spidge is the sort of like
Did
converter.
was Mr. Spidge also the one that ate the scroll?
Yeah, Mr. Spidge is the one with the top hat.
Okay, so I'm going to pull a couple of berries out of my pocket, and I go, and just call him up onto my knee, because I'm sat down at the moment, in case you didn't guess.
Yeah, obviously.
And I'm going to go, oi, can you go and sort out our old little chops over there, little Bondo chops? And I give him the berries.
Okay. I like the fact you have to bribe them now. So yeah, he sort of like doffs his hat.
Just a little
with
colour,
his
just a little sort of...
His little paw comes up and he sort of doffs his hat at you and squeaks and then scurries over to where Bondo is. And then he just turns around and his tail flicks up and he just sort of like puts his face on the ground and puts his hind legs really high up facing Bondo. And he just gives this really like big squeak. Like a long squeak. Like squeak! Like that. And then this like puff of magic comes out of his backside. And just wafts over.
A little fart cloud of magic.
Healing fart of ferret.
Just wafts over Bondo. He's like, oh, like that. And Bondo, yeah, you can roll a D6. In fact, actually, Ratty, you should do this. You roll a D6, and that's how many wounds you've been healed for. Like this magical cloud of, this wafting cloud as this healing wafting cloud, sir. And it smells very much like raspberries. 2. Okay.
Oh, 2.
Never mind. It was worth a shot. So you get 2 wins back, dude. 2 wins back, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Spidge.
All right. So after that weird moment, Ziggy stands up. And goes,
oh, thank you. I feel a lot better.
He sort of looks around and goes, "Oh, magic visits. You know, the world would be better off if we all just burned you at the stake. I'm just saying what we're all thinking." And he sort of turns around and goes, "Listen, shouldn't we get to the other farm? I'm not really fond of the elf. She's a terrible shot after all. But there's a part of me that says damsel in distress, yeah?"
Yeah.
Whatever you say, Ziggy.
That's very true. We got to head over that way, haven't we? Yeah. Wherever there's a giant cloud of carrion crows, there's trouble. That's what my old dad used to say to me.
You're such a lie, you didn't know your dad.
Oh.
All right, so okay.
You know your father.
Well, you know the village butcher who
The village butcher, who you think is your dad, maybe. Never confirmed.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Actually, I thought every man over 30 in the village was my
Potentially
dad.
your dad.
basically.
Right, okay. All right, cool.
Potentially my dad.
Not a village idiot.
All right, cool. So, I'm assuming now that you're sort of like be able to stand, that you are now sort of hightailing it with good speed down the valley towards the Vernix farm, which is only about an hour or so away from where you are now. Is that a fair assumption, sirs?
I think it is a fair assumption that we are hightailing as quickly as possible.
Cool.
Fast as my little legs will take us.
Alrighty. Let's just put this one over here. Okay, so you within about an hour or so, you do make good speed. Del, you've got good, excellent hearing and vision and stuff like that as an elf.
Yeah.
Okay, so Del, you are sat in the middle of the Vernix house, having what essentially the Warhammer equivalent of high tea. There is a young man. I can actually describe him. Actually, there are 9 Vernix that you've seen. Emmerich, who is the head of the family, and his wife Heidi, their children Bridget and Hedvig, Hugo, and Emmerich's older brother with his fiancée Dominic, and there's also a foot called Mary Louise Butterfoot, who's got an incredibly outlandish and flamboyant name, but Mary Louise Butterfoot is the cook, who's a halfling. I now have to find all these fuckers. Oh Jesus, I did not plan this out at all well. All right, fine, it's fine.
I think this is that then.
Which ones? Oh yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, nice one. Why not? Fuck it. Let's just go with this. The werewolf, probably not so much the werewolf. That's fine.
I like the chicken.
Just needs a shave.
Chicken, yeah. So basically, this is the family, and the family of all scurrying around. They're very interested in you because they've never, I think they've been quite open about this. They've never met an elf before. So they've asked you the kind of weirdest questions, quite frankly.
about like what do you eat? Like, do you just eat trees and things like that? I mean, they're trying not to be offensive, but you can take it as you can be offended or not. It's really up to you. So this is sort of the farmhouse. I'm going to try and draw this properly. Boop, 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 boop. Like this, and this is a terrible farmhouse. This is an awful farmhouse I'm drawing. God, it's worse than it is in the picture. Okay, that's fine. So this is like the main room here, like the living room, which like doors come off over here, like that. There's some kind of shed or something over here with a door inside and out. There is, this looks like a kind of like a door open to a bedroom. There is a stairwell that leads this way, up, that goes up over there. And there are windows all around most of the rooms that you see. You think this is like the grandfather's room because he keeps dipping in and out of there. And there looks to be a like kitchen over here. So I'm just put a K there. And there's like dividing there. And you're actually in the living room right in the center here. So I'm going to put you... And the Vernix, we have to make everybody tiny. The chicken... Should I keep the chicken? Let's keep the chicken. All right, fine. So this is where you're... Do you want to grab your character and we'll just whack you in situ here? So this is Emmerich over here. His one of his many little children running around like that. This is the grandfather over here, who's actually what Wavy Davy's thing is. It's the grandfather and his the chicken's his wife. Why not? That's weird. Like that doesn't make any sense. There's no reference point at all. This is his wife over here, the upside down man. I really have not planned this out at all well.
Oh, no, I've got a wifey for you. Here
All
you
right,
go.
great. You can grab me your wife. That'd be great. You're not
The
me, your wife.
wifey.
I'm fine. Well, okay.
Oh.
She's kind of a hot wife.
I
right?
want that wife.
All right. Okay. Cool. So that's the wife. Cool. That's the grand. That's the
evil sorceress wife.
That's the gilf wife.
Better
That's
than my enormous.
Okay. This is American. Okay, we've got a whole bunch of them. This is going great, folks. I really planned my day well with all this stuff. All right. So that's basically where you're at. It's a little awkward, a little weird, especially because most of them look like they're monsters and things and chickens. And there is also a dog. In fact, the chicken is the dog. So there's a dog outside as well, which has got his little kennel here, and he's chained up. He's super weirdly excited. I mean, you've got an affinity with animals anyway, you think. But this dog has been particularly interested in you since the second you stepped through. Particularly also seemingly in your sling bag as well. It was very like, it charged because that's what it does. It's on a chain, a massive 20-foot chain. But it stopped, it slowed to you, and it started like, not growling, but like, it suddenly went incredibly happy, and started, the second it sort of sniffed around you, and it's very interested in your sling bag, and it keeps like lurching towards it. The chain sort of stopped it from going anywhere. You were invited into high tea, so you got to know the whole family. You don't remember their names at all, but that's kind of it.
No, I
Yeah, exactly. You just sort of call everybody the Elvish equivalent of mate. Every time they sort of say anything to you, I don't know what that word is, but there are windows all the way around here as well. You do see through the gates, through the distance, you see three figures approaching. They're sort of walking a little, they're not walking that fast. They kind of look recognizable. You're pretty sure you know who they are in the distance. You've got excellent vision, so by the time they sort of round the road and get a little bit closer, you do realize that it's the lads. But they look like they've had a bit of a time of it. Emmerich is now Emmerich's wife is pouring you tea and is asking sort of another inane question about Heidi. Her name is now asking another inane question about like, oh, so elves, you're part tree, aren't you? Shit like that, right? So just like really like, oh my god, like
just some casual like
casual racism basically. Yeah, just a little bit of casual racism.
You eat trees.
You are trees. Isn't that cannibalism? Yeah, things like that, right? So these are out of the way folks that don't have a great deal of education and are pretty ignorant of the world. So you let it pass as your hand goes to your dagger. Cool. Is there anything you want to do particularly, Dal? You do see the lads in the distance.
Can I just, when I approach the farm, can I tell what it is that they farm? Was that like what is their farm about?
Yeah, you're a ranger anyway, right? So you're a rogue, but you live wild. So it looks like it's a mixture of like some cattle, but like in wild cattle, like probably sheep flocks and things like that. There looks to be there's an orchard that surrounds the side and back of the. This is an orchard. This is like a small orchard, although it doesn't look it, and it seems to have like quite interesting. Weird kind of combinations of not olives but things like figs and stuff, which you think they shouldn't be here, like they should be in hotter climates. This is quite a cold climate, mountainous, but they seem unusual, like in their strains. Like you've picked a few and tasted them. They kind of taste like figs and apricots and stuff like that, but they're different. So there's some kind of like interesting fruits that they're growing that you don't.
This is a weird detail for the farm.
Look, man, I'm just trying to fucking imbue the world with life. I'm trying to give you immersion. What do you want? Jesus Christ, man. I'm thinking on my fucking feet. I didn't know she was going to ask about the fruit in the fucking orchard. I didn't know she was going to ask about what is the demographic and also the economic strain of this particular farm. I'm just trying to work it out, man. Can I continue?
You could have just said chickens and moved on. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, they're fucking Tillian hens. Tillian speckled hens, Tom. That's what they fucking raise. And they have some honeybees.
It's weird.
Oh, and by the way, the little one is actually an entrepreneur. She basically goes town to town and sells like fucking beads. Look, I don't know.
I'm more concerned about these weird strains that they're growing in their farm than the impending skeleton apocalypse.
Changing this whole storyline, we're going to investigate the seeds of the tree.
And actually, it's going to turn out to be a mass conspiracy where the Frugelhofen Valley is this like huge using those weird pesticides and GM crops.
Yeah, exactly. Fantasy GM crops.
The purpose of my question was to determine if I felt like this was a legitimate operation.
Oh yeah. You don't get a feeling that this is anything other than a farm.
And like I'm guessing I get the vibe that these are like ignorant but decent people. Like I'm not getting any shady vibes.
They've been super welcoming. They seem to think, because you haven't really had like the comforting, like you haven't felt comfortable telling them what the fuck's going on yet. You've been a bit overwhelmed by them because you're alone as well, right?
Right.
It's sort of like they're being really hospitable and crazy open to the point which obviously would unsettle anybody. Like
I was gonna say, like,
opened their house.
Like, come in.
Yeah,
okay,
and you're
so
armed to the gills, and you're covered in mostly your blood as well. It's not like you had a wash, but then
damp washcloth.
Well, you had a wash in the river, but then you fell off the building, so it's like you actually still covered in a lot of blood. You know,
still happening in the same like 2-hour period because I could use a nap, tbh.
Yeah, sure. Do you want to make an initiative test? Actually, just making a quick initiative test.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's what is your initiative, Blue? Just out of curiosity.
My initiative 69.
Yay! All right. You can take some here again. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Jump. First roll of the game.
Oop! I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. That is 60. That's under your initiative. That's good. So yeah, you know the only thing that you notice, which is a bit awry, a bit amiss, is that at one point they're going to serve you the tea, which is like this really nice herbal tea. Smells really good actually. They are about to go for this really fancy china. Heidias. Emmerich comes up to her and puts a hand on her wrist, and then just points to slightly shabbier china.
Okay.
Like a slightly shabbier china set than the one she was going for. That's what you know. That's the only thing that. Yeah, you don't get the fine china.
I gotta say that Del, basically since joining the party, has just been subject to all the racism.
I want to go back and live in the woods and ride a goose to work. Like that's what.
Do you want me to tell you what's happening to Multiverse Del that didn't meet the Vagabonds and what the right party she's supposed to be?
Lavishly.
Right now, she's just killed this red dragon, and they're divvying up the entire hoard of loot. And they also have like just bought a castle together, like a timeshare.
Oh yeah.
That's what's happening to Multiverse Del. Okay. Yeah, everybody just what I'm talking about. Go back to the episode where Del joined. It makes sense.
All right, so I'm kind of jaded to this at this point. It doesn't really surprise me. Honestly, a shred of kindness at this point would surprise me. So this is just day to day. Yes.
They're being kind to the point.
Yeah. I'm like, what? I mean, they mean well.
Yeah.
Okay, so I see my friends, I guess my coworkers, joining. I can see them in their. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say they're definitely co-workers, not friends just yet.
I was going to say they're more like co-workers.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I want to...
You can do the whole Thor thing. I know them from work.
I want to thank them for the tea and put it down and point that I have some friends approaching. I'll say friends just so they...
The second you say I have some friends joining, Heidi just drops a teacup and Emmerich goes for his sword and just goes, "Oh, you mean friends?" Right? Okay, right. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. You notice the grandpa didn't hear like the end of that and just goes, all right, then, I'll go and get my, and just sort of like walks off to his room, and just you hear him like, unpacking something in many like boxes and
I
drawers.
can't do anything right. Okay, I just want to say thank you for the tea. I just get up and walk out, and I want to greet my coworkers.
Okay, so nobody stops you. The kids sort of laugh as you like walk past, and like the little boy seems quite fascinated and taken with you. But the little girl's sort of like laughing and spinning around you. They sort of just, nobody says anything. They just watch you walk out, and then Emmerich sees what you're seeing, and then sort of nods to his brother, Hedwig. And sorry, brother, yeah, Hedwig, Hugo, who then sort of like walks around with him, and they sort of both walk out. They're both armed, not by much, not heavily armed, but they both have swords and stuff. Like, you know, it's like the Wild West out here kind of thing, right? So they sort of walk out with you, but neither seem threatening. You don't seem like you're at risk. However, they're both walking out to see who these people are. Yeah. So, lads, you are now entering. Bondo and Ratty are ahead. Ziggy is sort of taking out the rear a little bit. You just hear him, as you sort of get towards the gates, you just go, ugh, bumpkins, like that. He just sort of like falls into step with you. Tom, you see Dell walking out. Dell, by the way, the tea has given you 1 wound back. It's highly restorative. And very, very good. Even though you were a bit dubious, it's given you a wound back. So you're now on, I think, 4 wounds, right?
4, yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right. So the lads come up and you see them sort of saunter in, looking as shabby as ever. Ratty, Mondo.
I'm immediately suspiciously eyeing the olive tree.
Okay.
What on earth is that over there? That don't belong here. You know, magic. There's magic afoot in this farm.
I love the fact you instantly recognizing, like, you can't even fucking tie your shoelaces together. You don't have shoelaces, but you can instantly recognize when a foreign species of olive that doesn't belong in a mountainous region at this altitude is present. I just love the fact that your character.
And then I look to my left and I'm
Ratty
like,
knows
"Ah!"
his hedges, right?
Right, Natty knows his hedges, man. That's fair. Okay, so you sort of walk in and see that, and Bondo, you walk in as well. Can you both make an initiative test, please?
Aye.
And Ratty, I'm going to give you a -10 because you look in the opposite direction. 99. Okay, so Bondo, just hang on a second. So Bondo, your sort of eyes gaze around, and you instantly stop because you just got honed reflexes, and you see this like flash of fur and teeth just launches straight out of this kennel. Which has been set over here, and just goes straight towards Ratty's arse. Ratty, you have spectacularly. That was a 9, sir. That was a 99. I saw that. That was a 99.
It wasn't 99. No, I don't know what.
That is a critical. That is a critical failure, sir. So you're gonna have to pay, I'm afraid. So Ratty, you sort of like see Bondo stopping still. And you decide that whatever threat he's seeing, because you can tell that, you know, he's seeing a threat, you decide it's probably in front of you somehow. The olives. It's the olives. The olives are fucking crazy and weird. So you deliberately, like, launch back, and you just come into contact with something incredibly sharp, like a row of sharp things right in your backside. You're going to take 1 automatic wound as the teeth sink into your rump, sir.
Right.
And you just feel like a painful... It was like a cartoon bite. So it's not going to... Yeah, one of those ones, right?
I leap in the air and kind of clutch my arse.
Yeah, basically, is exactly what happens.
Somehow hang there for a second.
Yeah, you hang there. Yeah. Your little feet try and find purchase in the air, then you just drop down again. So you land back on your ass, which is now incredibly painful. And there's a huge fucking dog, just like barking and shouting and screaming at you, like that, right in your face. Your face is covered in slobber, and the teeth still like shine from the sort of like shearing of your buttocks that he just gave you. It's massive. And when I say massive, it's like it's not even standing on its back paws. It's good, 3.5, 4 feet tall on all 4 paws. It's fucking enormous. It's like a bear. It's just staring at you like that.
All right, so I just fly into the air yelling, "My arse!"
Okay, cool. Yeah. So Dell, you witnessed this. Obviously, everybody witnesses this. Siki goes, of course. He just takes a long walk around where you got bit. And he smells like the tea and goes, tea, guten Abend, and just walks past everybody and just goes straight into, you hear this, guten Abend, guten Abend, guten Abend. As he walks
I yell after him, Ziggy, My arse, it burned.
Yeah, I told you before, there's a cream for that. And just carries on walking. Guten Abend, guten Abend. All right, so Del and Bondo, I guess you can kind of react to this. What do you want to do? Oh, Del, actually, yeah.
Yeah. I would instinctively, like, I would go for the dog's kind of, like, sorry, is it wearing, like, a collar or anything like that?
Yeah, it's on a chain. Yeah, it's got
Yeah,
it's actually a 20-foot chain.
Grab the chain around its neck and I wouldn't yank it back because I'm guessing teeth are still embedded, but like just start like doing that. Drop it.
Actually, the dog didn't really like gore him or anything. It gave him a really powerful nip. So he's not actually attached.
I'm just thinking dogs actually when they bite, like it's very like they tend to not let go right away.
Yeah, but unfortunately, because Ratty wears so many rags that used to be bathrobes, that he just got a mouthful of rag and a little bit of buttock. So he sort of like
He's bruised him, not.
Yeah, and he quickly realised because he shook around the thing and he leapt in the air. Like he sort of realised he wasn't actually biting anything properly, so he sort of let go a little bit.
Got it. I would still grab the chain and yank the dog back.
Yeah. Okay. Can you make a leadership test plus 20, please?
Yes, I can. My leadership is 32.
Okay, so it's now 52.
Right. No. Did you have that?
It's 32 plus a bonus of 20 for some reason.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. I was thinking of the bonus.
No, that's cool. Ooh, 76. All right, so this dog is sort of like has tasted Ratty's ass and is now enraged. But you're sort of you're controlling him, but you're not really calming him. By the way, he's completely au fait with you handling him. Like he does not seem to be turning on you. He's not aggressive towards you in any way, shape, or form. If anything, he's sort of like leaning into you a little bit. He sort of smells you quite a lot, but he's sort of smelling the area. But he's still like barking, growling at Ratty. But he's sort of leaning into you, so his weight's on you a little bit, almost like it's, that hold me back thing that idiots do in fights. Like, no, mate, hold me back. I don't want to kill him. Hold me back. It's a bit like that. He's all leaning into you, which is like, no, he looks like a mean motherfucker, but he's also like super fluffy, which you're appreciating that a lot.
And I feel like I would just give like a pat, like an involuntary pat to the side.
Yeah, you do.
Trying to see it down.
Yeah. So Emmerich sort of like sees and goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And then his brother Hugo goes, "No, you shouldn't touch. You shouldn't. Oh, well. Oh, looks like you know dogs." Like that. He's quite surprised. You notice that you're actually not only touching him but trying to control him, and he doesn't seem to be going for you. He goes, "Well."
So he's not apologising to me.
Emmerich's coming over. Hugo could give a fuck apparently because you look like a vagabond. But yeah, Emmerich's helping you to his feet and is sort of dusting you off a bit and goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry. But obviously he's not a pet. He's a guard dog. Actually, he was a present from a friend of ours. We're just looking after him for a little while. Tough. We had to put him on a chain. He's quite aggressive. He's so aggressive. My iPad fell off the floor. Okay, so yeah, how you doing, Tom?
You never mind that. Have you got any balm for my arse?
Well, actually,
any balm? I can't say balm in that accent. You got any salve for my arse?
Salve?
He looks and goes, "Well, you're in luck.
Salve
You're in luck.
arse.
You're in luck. Grandpa Gunter's actually used to be with the Army Corps. He's an old medic. You might want to go and see him. He's probably going to help you." You notice that Emmerich has ever so slightly. Well, actually, Ratty, you don't notice because you have no fucking clue. But everybody else, well, actually, Del doesn't understand either. So this is only for Bondo, I guess, then. And Bondo, you have no idea why you recognise this, but you recognise that the man has a slight hint of a Null Knight accent, which sounds a little bit like London. He's got a slight Null Knight accent, which is weird because you're in the middle of fucking, arse nowhere. Do you know what I mean? So it's a bit weird to find a Null Knight this far into the Grey Mountains, or the other side of the Grey Mountains specifically. So he's sort of
the hinterlands of the Empire, aren't we, in Bretonia?
You're actually in no man's land between Bretonia, which is kind of like France, and the Empire, which is like the Holy Roman Empire, Germany, Austria, that kind of place. So you're actually in the no man's land between, because Frugelhofen is independent. It doesn't pay taxes. As far as you've heard, they're completely independent from anybody, which is weird. So you're sort of in no man's land territory at the moment. Take of that what you will. Okay, so what are you all doing? Ratty, you're being offered to be taken in, and to see Grandpa Gunter. In fact, actually, at that point, Grandpa Gunter comes out, and he's holding this old guy is coming out with this massive blunderbuss. Ratty, you don't know what that is, but basically, it looks like kind of looks like a big fucking hand cannon. And he's at the moment he's sort of leaning back, trying to use his weight, his entire body weight as a counterweight to this blunderbuss, going, "Hold them still! Hold them! Hold them!" He sort of like says that, and he just starts tottering, and he takes a couple of steps and just falls back into the house with this blunderbuss. And this blunderbuss thankfully doesn't go off, but he just sort of staggers back into the table, and the blunderbuss sort of like scatters on the floor. And
Bondo, can you wield a blunderbuss?
I know I've got explosives, and I know I've got engineering, so metallurgy and stuff like that. So potentially,
I bet you want it though, right? I bet you want it.
Oh hell yeah!
Okay, cool.
It's a feat of engineering, a blunderbuss, so I'm interested.
Yeah.
You'll need some kind of like weighted boots so that you're not blasted off your feet whenever you fire
Ground
it.
claws, yeah.
Yeah.
No, remember, right, low center of gravity, Tom.
Oh yeah, true. Okay. So limping towards him, I'm going to go. No, I'm terribly sorry for the interruption. Several things. Number one, trouble brewing. You may have noticed bird clouds in the sky. Definite trouble is brewing. Number two, my arse towel. And number three, my friend here, my little buddy here is also quite badly. He's not in the best of shapes. So we can help you from bird clouds if you can help us from arse bites.
Yes. Emmerich sort of looks at you as he's helping you through the door and goes, "The dog did bite you in the arse, right? Not the head." As he sort of steps you through it a little bit. Do you want to make any sense? Ziggy goes. Ziggy's now pouring himself another tea. He's got cake in his mouth.
Burn?
A little bit.
Was that a sick burn?
A little bit. So you notice there's a rather large family in here. The grandfather's been helped up and has moved around the side here. There is looked to be the sort of the young wife and of Emmerich. You sort of get the feeling that's how that works. There's a young boy running around and a young girl who now stopped and they're all staring out the windows, laughing at both of you. There seems to be Hugo is over there, I guess. I think we've got too many people. They're dead. And this is the grandfather is being helped by presumably the grandmother. Bondo, as Ratty enters and is being burned, socially burned by Emmerich, you do see out of the side entrance here, steps through what can only be described as a vision of soft, squidgy goodness. This woman steps out, a halfling woman, you think, steps out of the kitchen side entrance and into your life. She's a vision of beauty. Do this as you will.
Is there soft focus at this?
A little bit soft focus, a little bit cheesy 80s music, like
golden light filters in through the windows
a little bit like
behind
that.
her.
Yeah. So you sort of see this this vision of she's covered in flour as well, and is just sort of like staring at you.
That always gets me going.
Covered in flour.
Oh, self-raising.
Self-raising flour. Okay. Is it too late? Is it too early for those jokes? No, it's not. It's fine.
Delicious bit of chicken.
All right, cool. What do you want to do, folks?
Well, I'm clueless, aren't I? And dumbfounded in both senses of the word.
Are you going to be embarrassed and just drop into your beard a little bit? Please do that. I like it when dwarves and gnomes get embarrassed. They always get their beards and sort of drop their heads into their beards a little bit.
I haven't got a beard.
Oh, you're beardless?
Oh, remember, I'm a gnome.
Gnomes have beards. Gnomes have moustaches.
Fairly decent sideys.
You can grow. Yeah, that's right. You've got mutton chops, haven't you? In fact, they're actually
Yeah.
This is a character-specific model, isn't it? Yeah, you got mutton chops for days. That's right. So you sort of bury yourself with your mutton chops.
You tweak your chops.
Yeah, you tweak your chops a little bit.
Yeah, hang on. Knowing your brother, that's an interesting question.
Yeah. My brother has got quite serious chops in real life.
Serious? They're epic.
All right. So
Yeah,
you
They have like their own Wikipedia entry.
I feel we're getting off topic.
We should understand why we were sent to this farm, right? Because this like,
You've all forgotten, like nobody knows.
The tea has been lovely, but I don't know if there's a connection between the dwarf giving me like this name. Like, obviously these are not dwarves,
No,
so they're not. yeah, I'm like, okay, they're not like related or something.
Nope.
But yeah, what was I given? I'm sorry, I don't remember. I was given.
Yeah, you can fish it out in your
object on a
sling.
leather strap.
Yeah, and you have this. In fact, you can pull it out. Like if you, I mean, this dog has calmed down now that Ratty and the rest have sort of gone in, and is now like licking your hand and pawing at you quite a lot.
Oh, he's a good boy.
Yeah, and he's not well trained. He's like doesn't seem that well trained because he's jumping up at you. His paws can reach your shoulder, and when he does that, his head is kind of almost like his snout would be at your head height. Like he's
That's a
fucking
big boy.
enormous. He's a big boy.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you sort of he drops down, you pull out your sling bag, and you pull out this strap, and he just goes completely still, and then he just like he sort of hunkers down a bit, and he just goes.
Like he's afraid of it? Or...
No, it's almost like sadness. There's something quite sad about his whine. He sort of sniffs it, and then he just stops. In fact, he gets excited to begin with. Then he sniffs it, and you notice there is a bit of blood on it still. And then he just sort of like there's a bit of blood still crusted on the little plaque of it, and he just sort of drops down, and then he just goes like that.
Aw.
Is he sad because he ate my ass?
Yeah, Tom. Yeah, that's why he's sad.
That's it.
He suddenly realised the social awkwardness of what he just did, and it was just inappropriate behaviour. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad he's learned.
Do you scream that outside? Yeah, take that, you bastards!
I'm glad you bloody learned your lesson.
Yeah, misreading the situation 101 with Rattigan, Elias P. Rattigan. All right, sorry, Del, sorry, Blue, what are you going to do?
Okay, what does it look like again? What am I holding?
It's
Sorry,
a
like an
leather
amulet or-
strap with an amulet on it. And it's quite
Okay.
a large leather strap. And the amulet has squiggly writing. They said the word was fleck, but you have no idea. That's what they translated the word to the other dwarves.
Is it cheating if I ask? Do I get the vibe if I showed this to the family inside that they would have a reaction?
Well, the dogs definitely had a reaction to you pulling out your
Dogs
sling
have a
bag.
reaction. I mean,
Yeah.
I think to move this, I just feel like I need to know why we're here.
Sure. Well, obviously, and also the collar is this dog size. You thought it was like for a person, but actually this collar would fit this dog. This dog is fucking enormous. So, and it hasn't got a collar, and it's only got a chain on it, which is like literally the chain is looped around its neck, kind of thing, like a choke chain.
Oh, that's okay. Can I put it on the dog?
Yeah, you can take it on the dog. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you can.
Okay, I'll put it on the dog.
Alright, so you put it on the dog. The dog's very, very quiet and sort of looks at you. So it gets a bit like nervous and skittish, and you put this collar around it, and you should just look at it. And there's a moment when the two of you look at each other in the eyes, and it just very slowly puts its paw on your shoulder, and then like just stares at you, and you stare at it, and then out of nowhere it just gives this very long, big lick up the entire length of your face. And
Aw.
although it's really lovely, all you can now smell is like off mutton.
Wet dog.
Wait, there was a
Embarrassing in front of its current owners. It feels like it's just kind of like basically going, I hate these guys. Please,
Please steal
please
me.
take me away.
Please steal me.
Yeah.
name on it, right? That I had Bondo read.
Yep, he said the word was fleck.
Okay, I remember that. And can I say good boy Fleck?
Yeah, you say that and his ears prick up, and then he just nuzzles you. And he just nuzzles
He's a
you.
good boy Fleck.
Yeah,
Okay.
his tongue lolls out and he gets very happy. He's also got this like choke chain on him, which is like 20 feet long, but is now completely taut. You could, if you wanted to, you could remove it quite easily. It's just like one of those choke chains. You have to loop it back a little bit. All right, so you do.
I remove it.
You doing it casually or doing it sneakily or what?
I do it very casually and like I don't let it like thud. I just kind of casually drop it. Like, I'm just petting the dog, nothing
Alright.
to see here.
Cool. Alrighty, so back in the farmhouse, Bondo, Ratty, you're being seen to by the grandpa, who's given.
Now, when you say "seen to," what
he's
exactly?
medically seeing you too.
Roger, you silly.
He's not. Yeah, he's not doing that yet. I guess. I mean,
No, what is he doing?
he's applying. Actually, Bondo, you see him do this. You see, he's actually a very trained field medic. Like he's got this. He goes, "Oh, I'll get my old kit out." He brings this old sort of kit which pops open. And he's got like medical grade, like army grade medical field dressings and stuff. They're old. They look very, very old. But
Bandages.
bandages and stuff like that. and splints and things. But he looks like he's really like he's quite shaky until he starts applying the dressing to Ratty. Or is it Bondo actually? No, I guess it's Bondo. Bondo's fucked up.
I mean,
Ratty, you're
Bondo, you
fine.
should be really focusing on. I've just had a slight nip of the arse.
Fuck it. He's bandaging your ass. That's what he's doing. So he's basically he starts applying all this stuff, and Bondo, you notice.
well,
You
So
made
he
more
does,
of a
I
noise
go,
about it, didn't you?
Yeah.
maybe sort out my mate for us. He's Bondo's probably still got like huge gashes in him.
He's still bleeding, and he's like putting a sticker on her ass.
Yeah. Meanwhile, this guy is sort of gingerly lifting up my robe to,
Sure.
let's suggest.
In fact, I'm gonna say something.
Come on,
Look, I know I just got bitten in front of you, but could you maybe first attend to my friend who's bleeding profusely over
At
there?
this point, the grandfather's actually lifted your robe, is now under the robe, and stops, sort of touching one of the buttocks that we won't mention, and goes, "Oh my!" like that, and then just like slaps something on that
and I
cheek.
just say, yeah.
And he slaps something on that cheek and sort of reappears under the robe and stands up, his knees kind of cracking, and he starts shuffling towards, "Oh yes, well, let's have a look at your friend. He looks like in a bad way." And he starts like, swan diving, waddling over to where Bondo is and starts applying stuff with you. Bondo, you notice that this guy is very competent. You can
Thank
easily
goodness
see
for that. I was almost very embarrassed.
Almost very embarrassing. Tom, you can take your wound back. You sneaky
phew.
fuck. And Bondo, he starts applying poultices and some herbs and things, which you recognise. It's an old-fashioned treatment, but he's very, very good at what he does. And actually, you do
It's
start
from
feeling
my
better.
herbology, isn't it?
Yeah. He's super competent, so you feel actually immediately relaxed. And you can take D3 wounds back yourself, sir. So let's just do that. Right. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of why you're here. So take a
I've
wound
got
back.
D3 here.
Yeah, roll D3. Yeah, you should roll actually. One. Okay, fine. So take a one back. So let's go narratively. So they introduce themselves
The
as
dice have not been on our side so far today at all.
Depends on which point of view of the dice you're at there, sir.
This is true.
This is true. So they introduce themselves as the 9 Vernix family. There's Emmerich, his wife Heidi, their children Bridget and Hedvig, Hugo, which is Emmerich's older brother, his fiancée Dominique, and also Mary Louise Butterfoot they introduce, who's very gingerly hanging by the door here and is super shy and has gone a beetroot red every time she seems to gaze towards Bondo's direction. Then she just rushes back into the kitchen, fluttering her, I don't know, her apron or something. So yeah, that's them. I mean, we can go into narrative, folks. Otherwise, this is going to take the entire session, quite frankly.
I actually have Can I ask a question? Like, I'm still outside. Can I go inside so I can?
Yeah, sure. You can enter and you can join them. Yeah.
I mean, my suspicions are this dog obviously had a previous owner that's tied to this farm, so they introduced themselves as the Vernix 9. I want to ask if they've always been at most 9 or if they've recently had a loss.
Ooh,
actual
detective work.
Emmerich sort of like raises an eyebrow at that and says, "No, it's just been the lot of us really. Although we're pretty close to the dwarves in the mine down the way because we supply them. But other than that and frugal often, we sort of keep to ourselves really. But we're all very hearty and healthy, as you can see. Even Grandpa Gunter, I mean, he must be 73 years old, 33 summers old, and he's still going strong." And sort of Gunter goes, like that, as his name is called out.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
So what brings you here?
Funny thing about the dwarf, we've just come from the mine.
Oh, you have? I'm sounding like Bardock now. You have?
Yeah.
What brings you in this area? You all seem to know each other.
Yeah, we had. I'll let you take this one, Bondo.
Well, funny thing is, we went to the mine to help out and do a bit of adventuring, and there was a spot of unpleasantness, and one of the dwarves sent us here. I believe something to do with that dog out there.
Oh, that's Hector's dog. He's one of the dwarves of the mine. He didn't like him. He was causing a lot of ruckus, apparently, keeping some of the miners up. So we took him in for a few weeks until Hector was going to be on leave. How is Hector?
About that. Yeah, Hector's slightly dead.
What?
Got a case of the deads.
Yeah. At this, the sort of family sort of like a couple of them involuntary gasp. They say the dwarves dead. They're shocked to hear that. the dwarves. And do you want to carry on the story? You don't have to like role play. You can just tell what you're gonna say to them, the information, if you want.
Fair enough. Well, spot of unpleasantness. We were attacked while we were at the mine by skeletons, and Hector. There was a grand battle, and Hector didn't make it, unfortunately.
Okay.
But he sent us down here to find you and make sure you're okay.
Emmerich
And
sort
he
of holds
mentioned
his
the
hand
dog.
up and stops. Whoa, dead people? Who ever heard of such a thing? In my day,
The
dead
undead! I swing around and go, yes, the undead. Skeletons rise from the ground.
Okay.
And
So
swung their swords at us. They had swords, skeletons with swords. Where did their swords come from? We don't know. But they had them.
At this point, Grandpa Gunther, who's been sort of not really hearing anything you're saying properly, just goes, "Dead people? Who heard of such a thing? In my day, dead people have managed to stay decently buried. There's been no dead people walking about this valley for 50 years I've been here. I don't suppose I'll start now. You're mistaken, you are."
Did you see there were dead people here 50 years ago?
Yeah,
Did you say there were dead
old?
people
Yes,
here
yes.
50
I'm not
years
long for the
ago?
world. They want me to die, you know, just sitting here waiting. They're waiting, they are, to inherit everything, aren't they? Obviously, he's not quite hearing you very well. Like, he seems a little deaf.
So you fear you're going to become one of these skeletons?
Excellent.
Is that what you're saying?
Okay, so Emmerich sort of jumps in and goes, "I'm sorry, you know, Grandpa Gunther's a little hard of hearing. So wait, you're saying that mine's been overrun and the dwarves have left and they're heading to Frugelhofen? I mean, what about, have you had word from the Dietrichs, the farm across the way? I don't know if you know, you've met them or seen them or you know the farm, but it's just about an hour's walk from here."
Yeah. Another spot of unpleasantness, sadly.
This Heidi,
I don't think they're going to be here for Geheimnisnacht dinner next year.
They sort of like they gasp at that and goes, "Oh dear, oh no," and they sort of like collectively start talking a little bit about like what they potentially should do. At that point, Fleck starts barking like fucking crazy. Fleck's actually still outside. He's off the chain, but he's outside. He's now growling and barking and just pointing straight at the open gates of the Vernix farm, and he's just barking like fucking crazy. Hugo goes to see what's going on. He sort of like steps forward, and he steps out and goes, "What is it, lad?" "Well, he's off the chain," like that. And as he says that, you also hear this like cry, and you notice that the grandmother has during the whole conversation has disappeared, and you hear this smash and this scream from the grandmother's room. And Hugo sort of shouts something over the top of that, which you can't quite hear. Del, you can, but I'll tell you in a minute. I think we should probably go into combat order here, folks.
Ooh, is that a subtle hint that we might be about to have?
Combat! Yeah, it's basically you hear the smash of windows in the grandparents' room. You also hear some other like movement around the entire building, some smashes, and there's a couple like the wall, which is wooden. The palisade seems to be broken at certain points, and you hear like a lot of moving and clanking. What are you gonna do, folks? Dale, you're up first. You hear Hugo screaming back, going, "Something's coming!" like that, but he's sort of drowned out. Excuse me.
It came from the grandmother's room in the house?
The smash of the window, the first smash of the window came to the grandmother's house. There was another smash on the opposite side of the house over here.
Okay, so it's like, I mean, we have to go around the house.
Or we go through the house.
Oh, through the house.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to pat my leg and be like, Fleck, heal, because I want him at my side.
All right. Fleck immediately goes, and comes to your side and goes, like that.
Yay! I didn't know if that would work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go and investigate. I'll investigate like where the second noise came from.
Okay, you can see out the gates as well, you know.
Okay, so what do I see?
Okay, so staring at the gates, you see like there must be a good like dozen things like people, but they're not people. They look. I mean, in fact, you've seen them before. You see like a dozen skeletons, sort of marching in this shambling quick step towards the building that you're in, towards the farmstead. And they're sort of like they're kind of in a military order, but not quite, kind of thing. But there's a good dozen of them, which is
so these are like straight skeletons, not like recently dead.
Not like skeleton clowns. No.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so yeah, okay, so we see them from there, from that side.
Yeah.
Dang. All right. I mean, I guess I ready my bow. Like, this is bad news.
Yep.
They're not here to talk and have high tea.
No, probably not. Well, maybe they are. I mean, you don't know about this place, huh? But yeah, they probably don't have high
I want
tea.
to shout inside the house to tell the family to. I'm guessing it's as a free action. It's like bunker down. Like, get in the house, close all the doors, bunker down as much as you can.
Yeah, you do that. I mean, Flex sort of bounces in with you, and
They're here.
and Hugo sort of backs in and goes, yeah, I think she's right. Emmerich? And he sort of turns around and just points, and Emmerich just peers through and goes, oh my god, oh Sigma, like that. And he's sort of like, and you hear Ziggy, who's still sipping on his tea, going, a fellow Sigmarite, how rare in these vile parts, and just like sips his tea. And he sort of goes, right, get the children upstairs, Heidi. And Heidi sort of goes, grabs the two kids and starts scurrying up the stairs. They all seem to have initiative over all of you, apart from Del. That's a good omen, I guess. All right, so they start doing that. Next up is Ziggy, he's pouring himself another tea, which is a free action, and he's taking a tea. I don't need to roll for that. That's fine. Ratty, what are you doing, sir? Your arse is well and truly bandaged, and all this calamity has happened around you.
Basically, as soon as I hear stuff, swing around and point at the people who didn't believe me. You see? What did we say? And I reckon I know where they come from. It's the olives. People been eating the olives around here. It's just don't make no sense. Why are there olives here? Why are there skeletons here?
All right. The two things can't be not connected. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Detective Ratty. I love it. Okay, so ignoring the scream from the grandparents' room, you point at everybody and there's your accusatory glance, and vitriolically you say all of that. At this point, you notice that some of the family members are actually heading to the grandmother's room. The grandfather is is waddling towards the room. Emmerich is crossing over as well now that he's dealt with his wife and kids, that they're going up to safety, and he's rushing towards the grandmother's room. Bondo, it's your go, sir.
Right. I'm going to go barreling into the grandfather's room.
Okay. So you get there because you're kind of close. You get there before actually you push past the grandfather, and you see the grandmother, who is being pulled kind of half through the window backwards, but in a really awkward way. Like literally, her body is doing things that, unless she's a contortionist, shouldn't be able to do, and she's being pulled through the window. With these kind of skeleton arms that are around her face and around her body, and it looks like two skeletons are dragging her back, but her back looks quite broken. You're no medic, I mean you're no doctor, sorry, but she literally looks like she's bent over backwards in a way that you know spines don't work, and that's not good. The grandfather hasn't quite got to the door yet, but you see this, and she's clearly done for, and they're just dragging her out. You also see more movement at the back behind them. Like the other skeletons and stuff, and there's also a great big dirty hole. Well, not a big one actually, quite a small hole where the palisades have been split in two, like this, and they've sort of been they came through quite quietly. But recently, like, literally, they've just burst.
Fair enough.
That's it. Yep. So that's what you see.
Right, I'm going to slam the door.
Okay, you slam the door. The grandfather slams straight into the door, and doesn't hurt himself.
Like nothing to see here. Nothing you can do.
Okay, the grandfather starts pounding at the door and saying, "No, that's my wife, let me in!" like that. And, "Oh, you bloody dwarf!" And starts like elbowing you a little bit. Okay, new round. Del, it is your turn again. The gates are fully open still, by the way, over here.
Have they advanced through the gates?
Not yet. You reckon you could get there as they get close, and maybe if there's somebody with you, might be able to close
I
the
want
gates.
to run and try and close the gates. Yeah.
Okay, you need somebody else with you because one person has to be on one gate. You know?
Who's the nearest next to me? Like who would make
Hugo, Vernix.
I just shout, close the gates, like run and close the gates.
And you dashing out?
Yeah, I'm dashing out.
All right, so move your character. Tell me if Hugo. So Emmerich sort of is now. This is, I guess, I don't know who the fuck that is. Okay, so Hugo is now dashing out with you, and the skeletons are pretty fucking close. In fact, they're trotting now. They're sort of like kind of charging a little bit, and they're probably literally a round away from entering the farm. And the farm has got palisades all around, but these things aren't like stone walls or anything. So cool. Okay, make a strength test, please. But you can, yeah, it's going to be an easy strength test. So what is your strength?
My strength is 4.
Okay, so times that by 10, that gives you 40. And that is 38. That's a pass. Brilliant. Okay. So you very quickly you manage to shunt the door shut, and Hugo, who's very used to, obviously lives on this farm, can do it with ease. And both the doors are managed to get shut. So they're being shut now. And he sort of slides this bar across the front of the back of the gates, and steps back. Immediately the gates start being pounded, and they start being like smashed against. And the gates, you note, are not the thickest things in the world. They're not really designed to stop a hoarding army or a warband coming through, but they've probably definitely bought you some time. You can sort of see through the gaps of the walls, the gaps of the wooden palisades, that the skeletons are immediately sort of like fanning out, and some of them are starting to try and climb the walls, like they're digging their talons into the walls, and the others just sort of pressing forward, trying to add weight to smashing the front gates in.
Got it. Okay.
Oh fuck. Okay, so next up is Ziggy. Ziggy is now reaching for a cake. He's taken 2 cakes. He's now wrapping 1 cake, which is a dex check that he passes. I just made that off camera. And he's now moving on to the cakes. His tea is still full, and he's going to make a tea check, actually. I'm going to make a good tea check, so he doesn't, but just in case he burns himself a little bit. And he burns his tongue. His tongue's burnt. He doesn't take any damage, but he's now going to talk a little bit like, ooh, my tongue's burnt, like that, a little bit like that. That's his go. Next up is, he's also going to like rack his arm crossbow. Why not? Next up is Ratty.
All right, now I've calmed because seeing as I've realized, like I've probably just heard Grandma being pulled out the window. I'm kind of going to stop the ranting.
Yeah, I would.
I sort of end the rant with, right, and now we're going to have to do something about it. And kind of, I mean, I've got 1 magic point, so there is not much I can do but except fight.
Okay.
You are oddly good at that.
Yeah, you are.
I am
You're
pretty
a
good at it.
bruiser,
Yeah,
right?
I've got bumpkin power.
Yeah,
So
that's true. Yes, he's a big
hang on.
lump.
So is Bondo on his own in the grandma's room? Who else is in the grandma's room?
He's actually
No,
shut the door.
I slammed the door.
He slammed the door to the grandmother's room.
Oh, you've just shut the door.
Yeah, he said nothing to see here and shut the door, and then the grandfather smashed into it, and now he's sort of like school child fighting Bondo to get into the door as he's hearing the last screams of his wife being dragged through a window.
You know, just closing a door on the skeletons that have just dragged a woman out of it is not. I mean, it's very vagabondy. I guess.
Very vagabond, Tom. Go with it. What are you going to do, Tom? What's Ratty doing?
I guess I'm going to charge out and join. I'm going to join Dell and the other dude who are on the gates and help them in any way that they need helping.
Okay, so you're going to run out to where Dell is.
Yeah.
So you run out and you sort of cross quite quickly, and you're pretty quick for a human, so you actually manage to meet them. Dell is now actually backing off. Hugo's backing off, and you see that these things are trying to burst their way through. These gates are not. You're no sort of military tactician, but you know these gates aren't going to hold. Yeah. So that's that.
As I do it, actually, I'm going to say a shout to Bondo as well. Bondo, if you got any big moves, you know, with that dynamite you picked up, it might be a time. As I run.
Okay.
Oh, I've got an idea, boy. Bondo's got an idea.
Oh, Jesus. Good luck, everybody. All right.
That's what I like to hear, Jimmy.
All right, so
That's what I
you're
like to hear.
screaming this back into the house. Okay, that's your round, essentially. Next up is Bondo. Bondo, you're being sort of like swatted by the grandfather, who's actually clearly upset and very upset. That you've just got like a hand to his chest. And
What's his name again?
Gunter.
Gunter.
Yeah.
Listen, Gunter, there's nothing more you can do in there. She's gone. I'm sorry, but she's gone. Now those things coming through there are going to come through that door, and we have to stop them. Have you got a table we can wedge in there? Something we can barricade the place with?
He looks around and goes, "Table? What bloody hell are you talking about? My wife!" Like that. He's just like going completely red.
Your wife is dead, and we will be if you don't move soon.
Make it a leadership test, please, sir. And do you want to do anything else when you say that? Are you like slapping around the face or something?
Yep. Okay, I can do leadership.
All right. 44. That should pass, right?
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, 46
46
is
right,
my
nice.
leadership.
All right, cool. So yeah, you sort of like jolt him and you grab a hand, you just sort of shake him like once, just really vigorously, and he just sort of shocks him into sort of listening to you. And you just tell him basically what's happened and what's up. And the reality, which is shocking, hits him, and he just sort of slumps, and he looks around and suddenly, as if he's taken in the scenario, and goes, "Upstairs. Maybe we could barricade the stairs. The children." He sort of looks back, and Emmerich sort of calmly goes, "Don't worry, Father. The children are upstairs with Heidi. You best get up with them." And he sort of like nods and sort of like starts tottering towards the stairs. Ziggy goes, such drama. Okay then, I best to call to action and nods out, yeah? And he goes, "Thanks for the tea." And he just sort of like walks around. He kicks the kitchen table over, and he just like smashes on the ground like this. With his leg sticking up, and he just sort of sits behind it, and he's got his crossbow wrist arm thing, and he's just like leveling it on the table. He goes, "I think if anybody's interested in my military prowess, I was in the army. We could make a stand here and then retreat up the stairs if things get bad. But don't listen to me. I'm just a corporal." Just so it's like scanning the horizon. Yep. It's a bit elaborate, really, for Ziggy, wasn't it? Sorry.
I kind of feel sorry for the fact that ever since Steve
I
has,
take license with him.
he's just becoming more and more of
He's
a
basically
dick.
the Cartman of the Vagabonds. I just use him for any reason.
Everybody loves Cartman.
Everybody loves Cartman.
But Steve is right sometimes. Ziggy's right sometimes. That's the difference.
Ziggy is right sometimes. Yeah, that's true.
Just a dick about it.
Yeah. So Ziggy does that. He kicks it over. Bondo, as you sort of like, as you've been doing all this stuff, and the grandfather and everything, you hear a scream from the kitchen behind you, which is in here somewhere around there.
Right. Is it? I'll tell what's his face to hold the door, and I'll go into the kitchen.
Okay, you go into
The nearest
the
nearest
kitchen
member of the family.
Yeah.
Pin the door.
You tell Emmerich, actually, who's staring at you. You also notice, and Ziggy's noticed this, but he would never say it, but you notice there's something about Emmerich's, like, movement. Like, he seems a little militaristic himself, and he's, like, listening to you, sort of nods curtly, and then just he also takes this enormous bastard sword off the wall, and is just, like, literally in its scabbard, is just now attaching the scabbard to him. So clearly he's military trained, or at least has got some martial prowess. So you sort of duck into the door, and you see a similar situation, actually. Two skeletons are clawing at Mary Louise Butterfoot, although you don't know her name, but it's a very beautiful name. They're clawing at her. She's sort of like got pots. She's got a pot on her head, and she's got two pans in her hands, and she's trying to basically kind of bat and fight these things off her around the sort of like the kitchen island here. And she's sort of like darting from one side to the other, and these things are trying to grab at her and claw at her on the other side of the kitchen island, just there. And the door is wide open behind them.
Right. Okay. Time for heroic rescue, I think.
To arms.
Yes. No, hang on. Some dialogue first.
Okay. Yeah. Smooth talking, right?
Look, you. Come with me if you want to live.
I'm gonna have to make you roll a leadership test for that. She is being attacked by two skeletons, and you're doing that line. Okay, so make a leadership test, please, and pray you don't get a critical.
No. Not even with luck.
Where are you? 87. This you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sucks.
She looks at you and goes, "Are you fucking mad? Just kill them! Like hit them!" She starts like battering them with pans and things like that.
Okay, I'll try and hit. Yeah.
Oh well,
At
least, nice try at being cool.
Yeah,
At least you tried.
All right, cool. You can probably reach the first one. I'll say you can dive in and reach the first one and attack this one over and this one over here.
Right then, in that case, I need to roll under 52.
Okay, so hit it. So that's a 50.
50.
Nice. Okay, so roll d6. So first hit the game. So d6 there.
Nice.
That's 5.
Oh, 5.
What's your strength?
With my strength of 3
Mhm.
and strike mighty blow.
Yep.
So that's 4. That's 9 points.
Okay, that's going to do it. Yeah. So you sort of come in and you actually pick up one of the pans that's nearby and you use it and you twizzle it in your hand and you just smash this thing's head clean off and it just smashes into the back and it just totters back And,
Gross
and
point
just
blank
jumps.
style.
Yeah, it's gross point blank style, exactly that. Yeah. So you're on this side over here. All right, cool. The skeletons now get a go. So this skeleton is going to continue its attack on the fair dumpling. Dumpling? She's not dumpling, is she? Mary Louise Butterfoot. And the fair Butterfoot. And is going to hit, and it's going to hit for 6 points of damage. So it rakes across the halfling's face from right to left, and just cuts her across the eye, and she sort of just goes back screaming like ah, like that, and she just dives back and against the wall, like sort of in pain and really afraid. And the skeleton advances. More skeletons sort of move into this. Oh, you don't know that, I guess. You hear other smashes from around the building. So you hear like other windows being smashed, and you can think you hear like boots smacking onto doors from over
So basically,
there.
the building is surrounded.
Yeah, the skeletons are now climbing the walls on this side.
So this unit that's at the front gate is they're not the whole issue at all.
No, you can hear other smashes and fighting from the farmhouse now. So even though the three of you are over here and you don't know what's going on at the back, good role-playing, Tom. But you definitely hear smashing, and like you can hear this bong as a frying pan is being levied into somebody's face, like bang, like that. So yeah, there's definitely fighting in the house now, which isn't good.
All right, great.
All right.
Okay.
So this gun's advancing. That's what's happened. So Del, it's now your go again.
I'm next to Hugo, right? That's the guy that came out and helped me.
Yeah, Ratty's behind you as well. So it's you, Ratty, and Hugo.
Right. I want to ask Hugo if is there any like cellar or escape route or anything that you guys have that we can look to either like the underground and huddle or GTFO.
He sort of looks around and goes, no, it's a farm, I don't know why we'd need such a thing. The only thing of any note, I guess, is the small chapel on top of the building, dedicated to Sigmar. And you sort of see the building on the very top. There's like a mini attic with an open half window, if that makes sense. So I'll sort of draw it for you if it makes sense. So this is if you look over here, Del, this is there's like a half window like this. Which is completely open. It's like a little mini bell with a Sigmarite symbol, which is, I can't remember, isn't it? I think it's a hammer, isn't it? There's like a Sigmarite symbol like this, but there's like a little bell in here as well. It's like a bell tower, and it sits on top of the house. So obviously you have to go upstairs, and it's like an attic space that's being converted into a kind of open chapel, which is kind of cool.
I just had a nutty idea.
All right. Do it.
Well, I'm okay. Can I
like
look
it.
up? I just remember that there's also the issue of the birds in the sky. Can I look up and do I see any birds?
Do I
see the
do
cloud?
they tell you about the birds? Do they tell you about the bird things?
Yeah, I was talking about the birds a moment ago.
Okay, so yeah, you scan the horizon in the direction you think they are. Please make an extreme vision test, which I guess would be initiative.
Okay, I do have good vision.
You do,
so
which is the only reason I'm letting you do this.
Okay,
it's a straight initiative test. Okay. 93. Okay, so you look in the direction that you think they should be in. However, like it's a lot. I mean, you're looking over you're trying to look at like beyond. Human distance is 23 miles that you can see in a flat plane. Clouds and stuff like that. So you're looking at like almost 40 or 50, 40 miles maybe or something like that. You're looking a very, very long way in this valley trying to spot a cloud of birds. And so it's easily going to be missed, right? So you sort of scan, you can see clouds, you're not entirely sure if it is the thing you're supposed to be looking at, but you're not sure. You definitely don't see anything right here is the main thing. You don't see anything
nothing
coming
like directly above.
No, there's nothing like immediate threat. If it's there, it's far away, yeah.
So much for that idea. I mean, I want to suggest that how many stories is this tower?
It's a ground floor and first floor, and then there's a bell tower on the kind of equivalent of the second floor. So it's right on the top.
I'm just trying to think practically that like we either have to fight or we flee and huddle. I don't know. I want to suggest that. Well, okay. I turn to Ratty and I'm like, should we suggest that the family go to the tower he suggested? Because I think getting away from whatever's in this immediate area and having elevation is sort of the way to go.
I mean, I think
You don't want to fall off it, though.
I think being stuck down here with all these skellies is no good idea at all. So yeah, there's a lot of them. I'm trying to count them as I'm talking with them. Like, yeah, I reckon maybe that's a good idea. Okay, so tactical withdrawal time. Could we yeah, let's tactical withdraw.
Okay.
Let's get. The gates are closed, aren't they? I mean, I don't know if that's going to stop. Are the skeletons like trying to climb the gates
Yeah, they're
or
beating them
anything?
down right now. Yeah.
We still
How
have time.
tall are the
We
gates?
still bought some time.
You got a few rounds, you reckon, before these things collapse. And then also, don't forget, skeletons are like climbing the wooden palisades now. They're actually climbing it.
Okay.
All right, I think withdrawal time. Damn, this is where actually just fucking stick of dynamite in this wall. Might actually.
You have done it.
No, Bondo's got it. Have you got it, Jim? Bondo?
Jim has now left. Good timing.
It's the Jim.
All right.
Yes.
You've got dynamite on you.
No, I'm
You've
here.
got dynamite on
Are
you.
you
here.
here? Okay, cool.
Yes, I do.
All right.
I have dynamite, but at the moment, I'm in the kitchen with a frying pan.
But have you? Was there more than one Skelly there?
You don't know this, Tom, so I'm going to intervene and say you can't talk tactics with
Oh
us.
yeah. All right.
Can't do
Shit.
that, mate.
Okay.
Can't do that.
Yeah. Sorry. Apologies.
Let's just say Bondo is aware of the skeletons at the front gates.
No, you're not actually. You don't know about that.
Oh.
You can hear a lot of cacophony, but you don't actually know there's skeletons at the front as well. That's new information.
right.
Yeah. you don't know.
Damn. See, ideally we would have set a trap there. Right. I'm gonna run. Is it my go or we?
Yeah,
Sorry,
dude, it's your go. Yeah, Ziggy's sort of taking position in the farmhouse.
And just to check. Oh yeah, because I don't know Bono's in the kitchen either.
No, you don't.
Okay, so I'm going to run back into the house. I sort of nod to Dell, go, yep, tactical withdrawal, but we should do something about this. Nodding at the gate with the... Yeah, so cheese it.
Cheese. Hugo,
cheese
sort of,
it.
Hugo watches you run, like looks at you, you goes, cheese it. He then looks at the elf and goes, yep, cheese it. Just starts running back as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on, Russell.
When I get in,
Yep.
I am going to yell. I don't know where he is, but I'm just going to yell, Bondo, we need you right here, right now. And just hope that he hears me.
Okay. Yep, that's it, sir. I think that's pretty much your go, mate. Okay,
yeah.
so that's yours. Emmerich is now he's now barricading this door. He's now put like a wardrobe. He's just flung the wardrobe across the front of this door. The door is being banged from the inside by a lot of like moaning or whatever the thing skeletons do, slamming from the inside. They're just slamming away from it. You also hear smashes and movement from the opposite side of the room here. The fiance Dominique of Hugo has got an axe out and has got a stool chair. Is using it kind of like a shield and is like rushing into this room. The kids and the grandfather and the mother have all gone upstairs, so they are quote unquote safe-ish, I guess, at the moment. At least the kids might be. And Emmerich's now sort of shouting. You hear Ziggy sort of saying something, and Emmerich repeats back. This is for Ratty and Bondo. You don't know what they're saying to each other. It sounds like jargon and weird, like some weird orders and things. You don't really understand it, but they're sort of speaking and pointing and shouting and stuff like that at each other. Bondo, it's now your go. So this skeleton is advancing on the fair Butterfoot. There's another skeleton sort of trying to come through this door that's been sort of wedged half shut. It's trying to like scramble its way through. What do you want to do, sir?
Right, can I move the kitchen island?
You mean it's like a trolley?
I mean, let's shove the big heavy table.
Oh, you can shove it. Yeah, it's not fixed to the ground or anything like that. Yeah, it's not a rolling trolley or anything.
Yeah.
You can definitely shove it. Yeah, a good old
Jim?
strength test, mate.
Jim, did you hear?
Yep.
Did Bondo hear me, Rattigan, shout from where you are? Like I'm literally
Judging by where you are in the house, I think it'd be difficult for me not to. But
right.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
definitely hear him. Yeah.
okay, so 1 minute, bud. Bit busy.
Okay, great. That's all I needed. I just needed to know where you were. Okay, cool. All right, good.
And so I'm going to shove the kitchen island into the skeleton, ideally crushing it against the wall.
Loving it. All right, man. So yeah, that's a strength test hit, I would say, as opposed to a weapon
Fail.
skill. No, it's a massive fail. How big? Pretty big. All right. So you sort of push it, but you don't really like get it anyway. You sort of scrape the floors, causing some cosmetic damage to the floors, which are quite nice. I'm just going to add the in, store that away as you wish. So you sort
No,
of
I've ruined their parquet floor.
You have, yeah, and you realise it's not a veneer. So you push this table, it scrapes the floor, and it digs in, and the skeleton is now still advancing and it's going to attack Butterfoot in the next round. So that didn't work, sir. That is your go. You can't make 2 attacks with that thing, I'm afraid. It's a fucking table. So then the skeleton advances and attacks Mary
So it's a second attack with the axe, though.
No, because you're the other side of an enormous kitchen island.
Shoot.
I don't really think that's fair, to be honest.
Basically, like an action.
Yeah, this
Shifting the table.
the skeleton
Basically
sort of
like
sees you, turns you, then immediately launches back at the weaker of the 2 fighters, which is Butterfoot, and just stabs straight with its sword. It pins her shoulder, but you notice very quickly, because you're a pretty combat veteran, that it does superficial damage to her, but it just slices a bit off her shoulder. It hurts like hell, and she screams like crazy. Can you move your hand there, sir? Thank you, Jim. But he's now sort of in combat with her, and she is in a precarious place. Other skeletons attacking in this room. You hear screams and shouts. They're still going at this door over here. The skeletons have now breached the sort of palisade wall. They're dropping over. This door is not quite damaged yet, but is still pretty fucked. And these skeletons now dropping over this side as well, like that. So they are definitely entering the courtyard. Del, it is your go.
Ziggy had line of sight by now.
No, but Ziggy's not actually firing yet. He's taken position behind a table in the middle of the living room.
He's
I mean,
basically... Sorry, go ahead, Blue.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna head back inside the house with everybody else, and the dog, I'm assuming, follows me because I told him to heal.
Yep.
Which means he stays with me.
Yep. He does speak Old Worlder.
Okay. I don't have to speak Dwarvish.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get his...
Oh my god! I should totally have made you do that. No, it's fine.
Oh well, too bad.
Maybe for his more advanced skills, you'll have to find out Dwarvish words. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Right, it's like when you teach dogs German and they only know German. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so I go back into the house. I mean, there's like, this is so. So there's skeletons in the house. Is there anybody that I can see inside the house when I enter that's like in danger?
Yeah,
like...
Dominique is now actually fighting in this room with at least a skeleton. The door's partially obscuring the rest of the room. This is like a typical farmhouse. Oh, thank you for the dog. Go away, chicken.
I kind of like the chicken, but the dog, that makes more
The
sense.
chicken is useful, but the chicken is dead to us now. The chicken is dead. All right, this is an enormous fucking dog. It's bigger than your model, but go with it. All right, so come back, chicken. Actually, maybe it was more easy. Oh, it was fine. So yeah, this Dominique woman is fighting using a small stool and an axe, I think I said, and is battling what looks to be an undead warrior in there. Hugo actually hasn't noticed that. He's sort of like here. He's smashing the windows in front of him, obviously to be able, and he's pulling out what looks to be a small pistol, and is now sort of thumbing in a little bit of shot, and is putting the gunpowder in. It takes a bit of time, obviously. He's sort of loading a pistol. That's about it. Ziggy,
I would like to immediately help the immediate danger.
Okay, so you want to rush this way?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see, you sort of rush this way, you're pretty nimble, so she's in the doorway here, kind of, half in the doorway, half not, and is fighting pretty much for her life against the skeleton over here. You think you hear more movement in the room as well. What do you want to do? You're kind of limited in your options a little bit here.
I mean, I have an axe. I know I probably don't. I do have an axe.
Yeah, you do.
So I can just like go for the neck, go for the head.
It's it's like a hatchet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, the door opens inwards, so it's only half open, so you can definitely probably give it a good kick and jump into combat with this thing if you want.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right, I'll give you a charging bonus, because I'm going to say that maybe the door sort of clips it a little bit as well. So you get +10 on your weapon skill, because you're sort of launching yourself into combat here. So that is your weapon skill, which is, what is your weapon skill?
46.
46, so you now have 56 to roll. That is a 4. That's a critical hit. That is a critical success. Wow. Okay, that's cool. So, folks, this is percentile games. It's a percentile game. 0, 1, 0, 5 is a critical hit. Hits no matter what ludicrous thing you want to do. 96 to 100 is a critical fail. You do not want that to happen on Neil Newbond's watch. I'm just saying. All right, so this is a critical hit.
If you do, you get bit on the ass by a dog.
Yeah, that's for starters, quite frankly.
That was gentle.
That was just for
gentle.
looking the wrong way.
That was just looking the wrong way. So yeah, you get double damage. Basically, whatever damage you roll now is doubled. And that'll be your hit. So it is like a hit of legend kind of thing. So you literally kick the door down, burst through, and sort of thingy Grimes like from Walking Dead the hatchet into its head. Roll your damage, please. Roll your damage.
Wait, what do I roll?
So d6 plus your strength.
Okay, so 4.
9. Yeah, that's 18 points of damage. Yeah, you just obliterate this thing. So
Yay!
if you want to dramatize it, you may do. You can tell me what other cool shit you do.
Kind of summoning rage and like charging forward, like just shouldering the thing just into the door, having it kind of be knocked back a bit by the door, and then just slamming the hatchet into its head.
Cool. Okay, you literally split the skull straight through the middle and go into like its femur and chest bone just cut straight through this thing, and this thing just gets knocked back. You then realise that there's another bunch of skeletons in the room that are all sort of pushing forwards as well. They're coming towards you. Dominic is not by your side and just gives you a very quick thank you. And then just sort of
I'm not there to like fight everybody. I just want to get her out. So it's like I kind of do. I still have the option to like grab her wrist and try and like.
You can grab her wrist if you want, but you can't really do anything right now because that was sort of your turn.
Okay.
You can do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. Ziggy's go is next because you hear him munching, going, yeah, using the door to a tactical advantage. Beginner stuff, but well played. He's sort of still eating his cake. It is now Ratty's done fuck all. It's now Ratty's go. Ratty's go.
I'm gonna head into the kitchen where Bondo is.
Okay, as you
what
do
I
that,
see?
Emmerich is actually taking your position. So he's now also got a crossbow which he's loading up, and also smashes the window. He and his brother seem to be quite astute with military stuff. So. Yep. So you see that this table, Bondo has sort of tried to shove this table, it's off its axis a little bit, into the skeleton.
And the skeleton is there.
Yeah, which is a good idea.
Can I take a swing at the skeleton? Let's go.
You can rush in and take a swing, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
You also see that there's a halfling cook there who's been very badly like clawed and isn't looking particularly healthy at the moment.
Oh, I've fallen.
Ooh. All right.
Right.
You lumbering hero.
Swing at the skeleton it is.
So what's your weapon skill again? So it's pretty good actually.
My weapon skill is 43.
All right. There's a 72. That is not going to cut it. All right. So you rush in.
That was nearly a 10, and it went to a 70.
You rush in and you sort of get your
Hades dice.
your tree branch, which is your wizard staff, and you just sort of like smack, and the skeleton just easily parries it, and just puts up like it's sort of like sword and just catches it and pushes you away. It actually does a beat block, so he just grabs it and pushes away in one movement, and then just turns.
Yeah, all
back
right, we get it. The skeleton's cooler than me.
Basically, the skeleton's cooler than you. At this point, the other skeleton sort of pops in.
Fonzie
skeleton
skeleton.
behind it. Yeah, exactly. It's a Fonz. Yeah. In fact, he actually does that, and then he just turns around to where the camera could be, if there was such a thing, and it just does a double bony thumbs up and goes, "Ay," like that.
Ay.
Skeleton Fonz, that's right. Be afraid, be very afraid, Skeleton Fonz. The other skeletons are now rushing in, or not rushing, they're sort of, lumbering in. It's very much Jason the Argonaut skeletons, that's what they look like. They're all sort of like rushing in. The door is now splintered through, the skeleton's now crawling through. And they are now approaching the farmhouse en masse.
They got through the door.
Now, this dog Fleck is now growling like crazy, and it's also like you think it's getting a little like frisky because there's a lot of bones out there, and it's sort of like, its jowls are, like it's drooling a lot. Is all I'm saying. Like there's a lot of leg bones there, if you know what I mean.
We really should have dynamited that door. Damn it! That would have been a safe position to dynamite. Now we
you can still use dynamite, Tom. You can still use dynamite. I will allow that.
Do you remember when we did this the first time?
Let's go.
You remember when we dynamited the first time? We blew half the house up.
Come on, let's do this. Let's role play, sirs. And
yeah.
Blue. And blue. You've all gone very quiet. You've run out of
who's role playing then? No, who's next?
Wait, hey, who's
You, I
next?
believe.
I think it's you, Bondo, right?
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's Bondo.
It's me,
you,
right?
Bondo.
Okay. I'm going to try and hit the skeleton with my axe as best
Which
as one
one,
can.
sir? Which
So
one?
this chappy here.
Okay. Yeah, make it happen, dude.
So let's make the force trauma magic happen. It is 40.
That's
That
a
is
hit.
a pass.
Yeah. Nice. Okay.
Yep. Right, so oh no, that's one of the weird olive trees. I want a D6. That'll do me. Thank you.
So
Right.
that's 1.
1, 2.
Okay.
Right, okay, with my strength of 3, strike mighty blow, that's 5.
5. Okay, so you sort of like you jab at it at its back, but again, it's sort of like you don't really get good purchase, and you don't really do any damage to it apart from chipping like a bone. You smash a bone, but it doesn't seem to be stopping it. And of course, it being a skeleton, it has zero feeling of pain, and it just carries on its attack relentlessly. It's just basically completely single-minded, and it's just going to try and destroy this body in front of it before turning on you. New round, Del. It is now your round.
I've got a second attack.
Oh yeah, you've got a second attack, haven't you? In fact, actually, the skeletons have an attack. What am I talking about? So the skeletons, the other one that's by the door is slipped in, is now going to attack you, actually, because you're right next to it. And this other skeleton is going to attack this thing. These two skeletons are now punching their way through the door, and they're trying to shift the wardrobe on the other side so you can actually see them. Emmerich is now rushing over to them and is hacking at them. These things have all moved, so it's actually just those two attacking. And then Del, those skeletons are going to try and charge at you as well. So the first skeleton on there is okay, that's a spectacular miss. Okay, those two skeletons miss, and then Del, you're going to be hit by this other skeleton who actually misses you. You manage to literally weave out the way of its blows, as this other skeleton, who's the other skeletons in the room, now charging at you. But you manage to push Dominique back, and then also get out of the way of this thing's blow, and it sort of gets in the way of the other skeletons because it's obviously there's a what do you call it when there's a tight area for people to get through? A pinch point, not a pinch point. God, my brain. You know what I'm talking
That makes
about.
sense to me.
Yeah, pinch point. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, so you sort of you've got them like at least like down to one attack as opposed to all of them attacking at the same time. Yeah. So that's what is happening. It is now Jim's go. Second attack.
Oh, bottleneck. That's probably what
Bottleneck. There you go. Thank you, bottleneck.
Oh, baby.
What's that?
5.
Yeah, that's a critical hit, sir. Nice one. All right, so roll your damage.
Righty-ho.
4. That's plus your strength
4.
of 3 plus strength of below. That's 8.
Right.
That's 16 points of damage. Yeah, okay. You're going to destroy this thing, sir.
Okie dokie. I punch my axe through its rib cage, and the whole thing collapses into a pile of bones on the floor.
All right, cool. You just smash the fuck out of it. All right, cool. This thing is broken. You sort of see a very grateful Ms. Butterfoot on the floor, who sort of is now scrambling up and just nods at you, and then she goes, "Look out!" like that as this other skeleton comes at you from behind. But it doesn't actually misses you. You manage to get out of the way of that attack. New round. Del, it is now your go. Shit's getting real, hun.
Yeah. Oh my god. We need to get the hell out of this house. Honestly, like we are overrun.
Or come up with a better plan.
Yeah, I feel like there's a non-obvious solution to all of this.
I tell you what. Do you three want to have a little quick chat as players? I desperately need to have a hydration break. So do you three want to have a quick chat with each other? And I'll come back in literally like 2 minutes. Is that cool?
Uh-huh.
Okay, folks, we'll be right back.
Now that he's gone. No. We overthrow the DM. That's our solution here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Make him turn the skeletons into puppies.
Dandelions.
All right, what are we missing here, or is it really as simple as either killing all of them or running away? Like,
Well,
I mean,
this
that
would be
is
a
a
real
fairly-
life situation. We've got to survive it, basically.
yeah.
This is a fairly standard Neil encounter is exactly that.
All right.
I mean, first question is there another big dude controlling them like the one that you killed at the mine?
Right.
Can I kill
like,
him this time?
We can ask if we see, because the first one was like large, right? We could identify like that's obviously like chief skeleton.
Yeah. I mean, getting into where did Neil say that this shrine is? Like,
It's over here. It's just outside
roof.
where my hand. Oh, I mean,
it's not on the building.
it's no, it's over here. It's over
Oh.
here.
Impression I
This.
got, it was the second floor. Not the first floor. Yeah,
I
ground floor,
thought it was-
first floor,
yeah,
and then
I
little
thought Neil-
chapel.
I'm going to ask him to clarify. I mean, it's a weird
This is the
detail.
chapel. This is it. It's like outside of this immediate area.
Hi.
It is pretty detailed, but I don't know if I put him on the spot and he just can't pull that out of nowhere.
I do want to do the thing with the dynamite, Tom. I want to do
Like-
the thing with the dynamite.
Hi, folks. I'm just going
As
to come
soon
back
as I
and,
clear
and
the kitchen.
I'm going to stop you right now. That's all the time you've had to sort of scream
Okay.
things at each other during the fight and during the last like 10 seconds of what's been going on. So whose go is it now? Is it Dell's go next? Right, it's Dell's go, right?
Yes, it's my turn.
Yeah,
Okay. I had my. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Blue. Can you, Neil? Can you just clarify something for us that we're not sure about?
Yeah.
This shriny place.
Yeah.
The Shriny Sigmar Shrine.
Yeah.
Where is it?
It's actually like a little bell tower, a mini bell tower that sits on
It's
top of the
on
house.
the building.
It sits on top of the building, yeah.
Okay. All right.
I should
okay.
draw it for you if it makes it clearer. Sorry if it's not. So if you just see, like this is the farmhouse with one level, and then on top of the one level, there's a little shriny place like this. Beep. So if you're looking at, this is like the doors here. That's where the shrine place is, at the top.
All
It's like
right,
a
got
little,
it.
like a mini bell tower, basically.
We were a bit confused whether it was a separate building or not.
No,
Okay.
it's on top of the building. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, I had my hand on her wrist and I yank her out of the room and I slam the door.
Yeah.
Is that something?
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you can do that easily. That's
I
fine.
don't want trying to distance myself here.
Mhm.
Do I still have visual outside of looking at all the skeletons outside?
Yeah, you can look at your shoulder. You see basically, you see everything in like this arc here. You'll see all of that.
Do I notice any skeletons that appear larger or more in charger
Make an
than the
initiative
other?
test because this is like in the middle of combat as they're moving, as things are going off, as the door's being hit, blah blah blah. So definitely make an initiative test, please. 10, that's pass. 13, yeah, that's pass. You can't actually. You can't see anything particular, but you can only
Alright.
see half the force outside at the moment.
All right. So okay, let me just. I don't know what else to do. I would just suggest like tell her. I'll tell her
Yeah.
to go up to the bell tower. Like get as high as they can possibly get.
Okay. So she sort of goes.
I don't.
She say that to her, and she goes, "I'm a fighter too. I stay with my husband." Sort of Hugo looks back, and they both nod at each other, and she's very apparently she's a fighter. Like she's not backing away from this fight. So this is our home. I'm not backing away from this fight. She sort of like she goes to the stairs, but no further.
Okay. All right.
She looks. In fact, she looks at you and goes, "Can you use that thing?" And pointing at the bow on your back.
Yes.
Maybe you should go to the bell tower up there. It's got a good
I'm thinking it
vantage
was
point.
a crow's nest. I kind of think I'm thinking to use it as a crow's nest.
Mm.
So yeah, I would like to do this. So I'm assuming I have 360. I don't know.
Yeah, you've got
No.
yeah, you sort of remember that it's got no walls to it. It's like a bell tower, so it's like got a roof but no walls. So you should be able to like look out the whole area.
Yeah, I would like to go up to the bell tower and
Okay.
set up,
Now the quickest way, Blue, is going to be scaling the outside of the building.
which is great because I have scale climb as a skill.
Sure.
Whoa.
So you're going to have to go outside.
Oh, well that's okay. So if I
Fall
go
off building.
outside,
You're
I
gonna
mean, yeah,
run outside. All right. And
run outside. I
Fleck,
got it right.
yeah, you can run outside and get to the wall and start putting a foot on the wall. That's fine. So as you come outside, you see the entire force, and there is a lot of them, and they're all sort of like starting to quick shuffle towards the house. Fleck starts growling and then sees you and starts whimpering, and is still at the door to the farmhouse here.
Okay, I tell him to stay.
He sits down at the entrance to the farmhouse.
Well, no, okay. I mean, like, not to try and scale and follow me. I mean, yeah, I just want to send him back inside the house.
All right, so you just sort of get or whatever it is you say to him. All right, cool.
Yeah.
He sort of scurries back into the house by the entrance to the door just there. Okay, you put a foot up and you start climbing pretty quickly. Next up is Ziggy. Ziggy fires. Can somebody roll for his wrist crossbow, please?
I'm not rolling because my rolls have been fucking terrible.
19,
Yep, sure.
that's a hit. So roll a d6, it's strength 4.
19.
Yeah. Strength 4. That's 3, that's 7. Okay, he fires, and one of these things staggers and sort of starts looping as one of its legs is kind of broken, and it's still sort of limping forward, but it's definitely been hurt quite badly. He starts ratcheting up another bolt. Goes, I think that's Von, yeah? Ein, he sort of says, and he starts ratcheting up another bolt. Hugo is now finished. He's now leveling his pistol towards the skeletons and is just aiming, clearly. Emmerich is now managed to chop the head off the skeleton over here, and these other skeletons now sort of taking its place, but not many. That is now Ratty's go, I believe.
So, are there any skeletons left in the kitchen with us?
There's one skeleton attacking Bondo, so effectively no.
Because I can't join that combat, can I?
You can go
Is
round.
it risky? Is there a risk I hit Bondo?
No, not really. That's only if you shoot into it.
Oh, okay. All right. And then what's this skeleton here? Is that in another room?
This skeleton here is in the room behind you. It's trying to claw. There's a wardrobe being shoved in front of the door, and they.
Oh,
can't
right.
get through.
Yeah. So I can just hear it scratching.
You can hear it
through
scratching away. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna run around here and swing.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm gonna yell at Bondo. Really need a big move from you, Bondo. I've just trashed this. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. And I'm going to swing at that skeleton. And my God, I would like just one successful roll today. Sorry, I am not having a good time picking these guys up. Hey, I got me up. The skeleton is down. Look, the skeleton died.
Doesn't work like that, Tom. Doesn't work like that. I keep saying that. Doesn't work like that. All right, so what do you roll? What are your dice, sir?
I'm rolling over here.
Right. Oh, there you are. Cool. Hit it. Oh, 59. That's not going to cut it, sir. Not going to cut it at all. All right, you sort of like go into it, but the combat's messy, and you miss, and you sort of slam your staff on the floor, and as the combat moves around, and Jim and this thing are engaged in combat. You miss, sir, so no dice. Next up is going to be Emmerich's had a go. Hugo's aiming. She's climbing, and it is going to be, I guess, Bondo's go again, right?
Oh, jeez.
Okay, so as 99, so as a critical failure. So basically, Tom, as you come in, you sort of lean over and you try and do this overhead smash with your staff, and you completely expose yourself in such a way. And as Jim sort of turns to get the skeleton, he sort of rushes the skeleton from the side, trying to strafe it. And he does so. He doesn't see that your oversized tree branch is on the floor, and he just trips and goes flying straight into the wall. Please make a toughness test, Jim.
When I said big move, this wasn't.
This is a big move, dude. This is a great move. That is a 50. That is a failure, I believe.
50. My toughness is 4. Can I pass that with luck?
You can see if you've got enough luck. You can pass that with luck. Yep. So now you're just going to take D6 damage. Because this is a catastrophe. This is a critical fail. 6. Oh my God. You're a -2. Holy fuck, dude. All right. This is now -2. Please roll on the critical sudden death critical table, please. This is a head hit as well. You literally slammed.
I've got a helmet.
Yeah. Okay. -1 then. You're a -1. Let's say -1 then. Okay. So take a roll. 30. That was very fucking close. All right. So I think, folks, I kind of feel like we should probably put a pin in it at this point, right? I kind of feel okay. So what happens is you dive over this
What,
thing, you trip
Bondo
over,
giving brain damage.
you slam straight into the wall, Bondo, and two things happen. First, your nose explodes and your head just pounds. Your eyeballs feel like about to explode. You reel back, trip over the same staff again, and smash onto your back here with all of the wind knocked out of you. And you hear this sort of like Bondo, Bondo, and suddenly you're back at the battlefield of the dream that you had about a week ago, and you see your name being called out. And you hear this, Bondo, we need the cannons now, the Chaos Hoarder, and everything just explodes, and your vision goes black. And that, folks, is where we're going to hold it for today. Fuck yeah. Not sure where that came from, but let's just go with it. Okay. Sort of a strange ending, I realise that, folks. But if this was a film, it totally makes sense.
Yes, I see it.
Yeah, you see it, right? Cool. Shit, Bondo's on -1 already. Fuck. Okay, that's not good. All right, folks. Well, that was a little
I like the way
clarity.
we spent the whole episode, like the first half of the episode, like actually building Bondo back.
It's just completely, and then you destroyed him, Tom.
Well, imagine if you hadn't done that. He would be decimated.
He'd be dead. He'd be fate pointed. And Sad Neil demands sacrifice.
Sad Neil is hungry.
Sad Neil is hungry. Okay. Well, on that note, folks, it's nice to be back. Nice to have a full team again. And yeah, we'll see you soon. I guess in 2 weeks' time, right? Barring any changes. So I guess Blue, would you like to do the honors?
Yeah.
All right. See you soon, folks. Ah, it's beautiful. Ah, existential nightmare. Ah.